Hello, you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. So, tonight we have another late night true crime news. There are just a couple different cases I want to talk about tonight. And I just wanted to hang out with you guys. So, the late night thing is kind of happening, and it is an odd time tonight. And I want to explain that just quickly. So, you guys know it's summertime, it's busy, and during the daytime, it's really hard to do it live without kids around. And the things we talk about are just not appropriate for my little ones to hear and that kind of thing, right? So, then in the evening time, we've got football and this and that and all the other lives that we like to watch together in the community. Melissa and Jen and Amber. So, it's hard to find the right time or even find a time that works. So I'm just trying to squeeze my little way in and be on here to hang out with you guys for a little bit and talk about some of these things that I want to talk about. But I really do appreciate all you guys for being here at such a late time. Maybe, hopefully it works for you guys. And yeah, I want to talk about a couple things tonight. So, well, it's 10:30 here. Let me say hello to you guys, and then I'll tell you what we're going to talk about. Hello, Nana Banana. Hey, Roro. Hey, Con Artist. Corky. Mayla's Mom. Crumb Crochet and Coffee. Hey, Lavender Blue. B Crumbs. Angie. Good to see you guys. Hey, Grammy Nini. Hey, Abellis. Hey, Luana. Jen. Good to see you guys. It's 10:30, dude. I know. 7:30 for some of you guys, though. Tracy. Yeah, so I was in Melissa's for a little bit tonight, and oh my gosh, man, listening to those calls that were played during Letitia Stalk's trial, oh, it's some tough stuff to listen to. It's so interesting, but man, I forgot like what those sound like for a little bit. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Neat Noodle. Hello, Sarah. Hey, Teacup. Hey, okay. I think I got, well, no, I didn't because I'm sure there's lots of new comments, but to you guys that I missed, hello, and thank you for being here. Hey, Hippie Chick. Hey, Kathy. So tonight I want to talk about a couple things. First, I want to touch base. Well, first of all, let me say, when I scheduled this and made my title, I'm just so upset today to see that people are, still with Sebastian Rogers' case. And he is a teenager missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. But, there's still such a circus around that. And, I woke up today and I see there's YouTubers, that have people in church taking photos and sharing it. And I was going to show it. But then, I don't want to show this child on here. It's so upsetting, though, that there are people doing that stuff, right? So we have that happening. Then we have the Karen retrial, and I want to talk about that. And I want to talk specifically, there's a few things I want to talk about. So the defense rested today. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. Do you guys think she's going to be found guilty? Let's do a quick poll before we get into this. I'm curious. We're going to talk about that. I want to show you, one of the witnesses' family members did assault Turtle Boy. And they've got charges pressed on him. Now I'm going to read you an article about that. I'm going to show you the video. I want to show you what Karen said, how she's feeling. I want to show you a couple things with that. Then I want to get into a new case, Jocelyn Nungaray, and I want to say that correctly out of respect for her, but it is a little difficult to pronounce. Oh my God, it's heartbreaking. She's a 12-year-old out of Houston. I have an article. I also have a press conference where her mom talks. She has a young mom. She's 27 years old. She was a teen mom, and she's just absolutely devastated. And she was murdered by undocumented immigrants. And we know that Rachel Morens, the suspect in that murder, is also undocumented. So I do want to just talk about that and touch on that, especially if you're in Texas or, on the border. That is scary. And I don't want it to become a political conversation. I'll tell you guys, when I first started, hearing about the border and all of that, at first I kind of chalked it up to, it's a political, it gets people fired up. It's something that, I really didn't put too much into it. And I actually vote, I don't want to like single any of you guys out. However, let me just say it wasn't one of my biggest concerns initially. But I believe in immigration the legal way, and it is dangerous. It's a scary thing, and I want us to talk about that tonight. So, oh, Abellis, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you. That is so sweet, and I appreciate that. Welcome to the new members. Well, Moose, it does matter because, like, for instance, in this case, they had just gotten there. They deemed them a flight risk because they don't have any family or any roots in this town. And it's scary. What if the like their DNA, I don't know. It's something that I want to talk about. I think it does matter, especially when it comes to these people dropping into towns, committing crimes, and then leaving on to the next one. It's scary, and it's something that's really being focused on by the news. Now, I will say that was my first thought initially, because I kind of like when all of this talk started a long time ago, because like I said, it just sounds like a political talking point. You know what I mean? And I'm not here for that. I don't care how you vote. And honestly, I'm not really thrilled with any of them. So whether that's our nominees for the upcoming election, Congress, and so on and so forth. So it's not about that. It's just the truth. That's kind of what's happening. And it is a big topic of conversation right now. Okay. Bye, Moose. All right. Let's see. Crumb Crocheting Coffee. Thank you so much for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. And Curious Christine. Thank you. That's super sweet. Thank you. I'm going to make sure Moose is gone for good. Hey, Kaleido. Well, I don't want to offend anybody, right? Because, people like to get offended either way, but I don't want to make it political either. But it is something that is I find interesting and that I want to talk about. So that's how it's going to go today. All right. So first, let's start with this. Have you been following the Karen Reed trial? I was going to do a poll, and look at me. Halo Red slacking. But we can do that in a minute. Let's look at this. So 2 charged with assaulting blogger Turtle Boy in confrontation outside Canton Bar. 2 people have been charged with assault after a heated confrontation involving the blogger known as Turtle Boy outside a bar in Canton on Sunday. Police were called to break up the fight outside of C.F. McCarthy's and D&E Pizza Sunday evening. Cameras captured Aiden Kearney, the controversial blogger, on the scene of Washington Street. This comes as tensions in the town are elevated over the high-profile Karen Reed trial. Reed is charged with second-degree murder, accused of striking her police officer boyfriend. Her defense team alleges that she is the victim of a conspiracy involving a law enforcement cover-up. Kearney has covered Reed's case extensively, advocating on her behalf, and is facing legal troubles of his own. He is accused of intimidating and harassing witnesses related to the case. Cell phone video, and we've watched video here before, you guys, if you remember and you were here, of him confronting them at ball games and things like that, and a lot of people had a problem with that. I mean, I wasn't a fan of that either. It was a kids' event, but whatever, however you feel, it happened. Cell phone video shot by his girlfriend shows the confrontation. We're going to look at that, which includes a woman approaching Kearney and ripping his phone out of his hands. She confronts him saying enough is enough, calling him names, cursing at bystanders, saying that he is harassing her family. This is Jen McCabe's sister. She says, "Why are you so involved in my family's life? Why don't you mind your own business?" Police confirmed Monday that 2 residents have been charged with assault and battery on Kearney after Sunday's scuffle, and they were identified as Jillian Daniels and James Ferris. All right, let me show you guys. We're just going to go ahead and skip over to that. So if you guys haven't seen this yet, it's crazy that it's the chaos surrounding, a trial like this.
We're filming for our own protection here.
Oh boy!
Oh, look who it is! Look who's here! Here she is.
You know what? I'm so sick.
Oh, she stole my phone.
I'm sick of your shit. Okay, enough is enough. You're a prick.
Okay, so if you've seen the other videos, you can see her walk up and she grabs his phone and yanks it out of his hands. Let's see. I'm obsessed with the trial. I'm glad I don't live in Massachusetts. What do you think's going to happen, Teacup? Hey, Boo Sheets. All right, who knew? Be careful. I know, Natasha. That's all right. I mean, I want to be careful because I know that many of you guys might feel differently than I do politically. I used to feel very strongly about politics because I'm big on, like, I want everyone to be accepted and that kind of stuff. So, but recently, I've kind of fallen out of that, and I'm really, like I said, disappointed with all sides. So I don't want to get in, I just don't want to single people out based on how they feel. Look, another Amy says, I'm similar to you, Alex. As a Texan teacher, I'm becoming very concerned. Oh my God, how scary for you. I don't blame you. Look, it's about having a conversation. I can see both sides of the coin. Absolutely. Okay. Let's keep watching this for
How's your kid? How's your kid? They must be so proud of their dad.
That's assault, Joe.
That's not assault.
I'm gonna need my phone back.
Fuck up.
I'm gonna need my phone
You're
back.
fucking
Miranda.
You look fatter than me.
I'm gonna need my phone back.
Boom. You're bad for that.
I need my phone back, Joe.
Where's your
I'm
chocolate?
gonna need my
Where's your
phone back, Joe.
chocolate? And oh, I'm sorry. Did you go to a movie?
So it was a whole thing. Actually, I watched a different version of the video.
She doesn't want you to touch.
Oh boy.
Oh, look who it is. Look who's here. Here she is.
You know what? I'm so sick.
Oh, she stole my phone.
He took a screenshot as she yanked it out. So, there's been a lot of tension up there. But let's look here. Karen Reed speaking outside of court how she feels. So she didn't testify on her own behalf, which, she had spoken up and said she might do that. So I was kind of waiting and watching.
Thoughts going into deliberations tomorrow?
Just be positive, try to feel strong, be with my lawyers and my parents, and just have
saw
faith.
that
We've
tweet
left
up.
nothing on the table. I've worked every day at this for 2.5 years, so there's nothing more I can do.
Thank you. Thoughts going in?
And I do have some more videos. We might look at that in a little bit. I want to get to these other cases, but Court TV interviewed her a little more extensively, and she basically said, look, I'm going to speak my side, maybe not on a live stream, but I'm going to eventually speak my side. Hey, Bendy, I don't think it's political necessarily. People coming into other countries to commit crimes is wrong. Ask Thailand how they feel about Americans who come to their country and do the most vile thing. Absolutely agree with you. And if you're not documented in that country, the odds that, the chances of you getting away with a crime are going to be a little higher, obviously. For me, I'm all about immigration the right way. My entire family has recently immigrated here. My grandfather, all of his siblings and parents came on a boat from Spain. And on my dad's side, my grandmother came over during World War II with my grandpa. She's from Germany. I'm all about that. So, I don't want it to be twisted. And sometimes I feel like it's so hard to speak on shit because no matter how you say it, no matter how careful you are, no matter how respectful and thoughtful you are with stuff, people will twist it if they want to. You know what I mean? So it makes it tough, but it's not really about that. Okay, so tomorrow, this is from Karen Reed Updates, and then we're going to get into this other case because I do think it's really important and I want to talk about it. So if you are attending court tomorrow, people tend to arrive at 7 a.m., but you can come anytime you want and stay as long as you want. People typically gather in front of the church. Karen said she would be at the church praying while the jury was deliberating with her family and her attorneys. That's from me, not from this post, but they say here, you'll see everyone in pink. Today was the biggest day of Karen Reed supporters they had yet. There were hundreds of people there. Hey, Skara. We are not doing it the right way, and it's changing my views. Sometimes you have to see things for, up front, up close and personal to really fully grasp what's going on. So they did say wear your pink attire. Pink is acceptable within the zone where the bathrooms are. And we are supporting Karen Reed. Turtle Boy also had a post on here that basically said we've been waiting for this day for a long time. And it's the day that Karen is going to be found innocent. I really am curious what you guys think. So before we switch to this other case, let's do a poll. And then anybody who doesn't know, like a lot of you guys may not have followed the trial. That's okay. This case, no one here. We've never talked about it before. So, it'll be something you don't need to know any information prior to coming here, basically. All right, let's see here. Jen, I don't know. Have you still been watching the trial? And what do you think about like doing a final live, kind of giving our thoughts, even though maybe we didn't watch as it was happening, but people are living on the concrete everywhere. Oh, Hood Mary, hello. Hood Mary says not guilty. Well, I'm about to do a poll, so I can't wait to see what you guys think, like in percentages, just because it makes me wonder about the jury. Will Karen Reed be found guilty? Now, I did see in an article I was reading that the state nor the defense was really pushing for like lesser charges. Like if you're not guilty of this, then, so I don't know how that's going to work. And I've never watched a trial out of this state, so I'm totally clueless. I didn't even realize that it was going to happen tomorrow. At first, they said it was going to be Tuesday. All right. Will Karen Reed be found guilty? And then we're going to get into this other one. Hippie Chick, I have a really great video we might watch after we talk about this of one of the last witnesses, actually, too, because they have one that they're calling Crash Daddy. He's like on Twitter. That's what they're calling him. He was one of the accident reconstruction people. And Judge Bev is like really taking a nice good look at him as he comes up. And it's really funny. Yay. Okay, Jen. Oh, yay, Sprinkled Donut. Hey, Chris. All right, let's see what we got here. 81 says no. I don't believe she's going to be found guilty either. And I'll save my thoughts on some of that for when we're with Jim, but I will say this. I'm not 100% convinced she didn't do it, but I am convinced they didn't prove that she did it. I don't really know. Well, I will say after I watched this guy today talk about how the impact that his body would have taken, like 1,000 pounds of force, I believe he said. And, we don't see significant damage to him that looks like he was like that, right? To his body, his actual torso, legs, that kind of stuff. So she will not be found guilty due to a shitty investigation. Yeah, Angie, that's the video I was talking about. Judge Ben looking him up and down. I'll show you guys after this. Ooh, Mayla's mom, send it to me because I'm still, up in the air. Okay, so let's get into this different Jocelyn. Let's talk about 12-year-old Jocelyn out of Houston. Let me take a drink. Hey, Selena, good to see you. Okay. Okay. Of course, this air thing has to kick on right when I'm about to read to you guys. We're going to watch the press conference. So there was specifically when her mom speaks, we could watch it all, but her mom speaking is like the part I really wanted to show you guys. So Jocelyn, and they say her name correctly, and I don't think I can do it correctly. Jocelyn Nungaray. 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray, one of two illegal immigrant suspects charged with murdering 12-year-old Jocelyn in Houston last week, had his bail set today for $10 million during his first court appearance. And this is some of what was talked about at the press conference, because they set his bail much higher than what the prosecution was asking for. Franklin Jose Pena Ramos, 26, and another young man with the last name of Martinez, 21, have each been charged with capital murder. Pena Ramos, who appeared Monday at Harris County Criminal Court, was determined by Judge Josh Hill to be a flight risk and was told that if he posts bail, he must wear a GPS monitor and remain under house arrest under other restrictions. One of them had a monitor up. Let me just read it and then we'll get into it. She had such a bright future ahead of her, and I knew she was going to go very far. And these monsters took that opportunity from her, from our family of watching her, her mother told reporters today following the hearing. I just want people to remember this is a very high-profile case, but she was still my firstborn. I was a teen mom. I fought for her at 15. I'm 27 now. I'm still fighting for her. Just remember, she was a very special little girl that deserves her justice, and I know she's going to make a difference in this world for all children, and now it's my job to make sure it continues to happen. And this is her mom right here with the glasses. Prosecutors last week requested bail for each suspect to be set at $1 million, and a medical examiner listed the cause of death as strangulation. Harris County DA Kim Ogg also said Monday, alongside Jocelyn's mom, Alexis, that prosecutors will ask for the same bond for Martinez tomorrow. As soon as our lab results are back, and if they support a death penalty eligible type of capital murder, then we will come back and ask for no bond. Now, let me explain that really quick. So the laws have changed. It used to be at one point, if you killed someone under the age of 6, that it could be a death penalty. Then it went to a little older, she said, and then now it's at 10 to 15. And whatever reason, this change in laws have made it to where this does not qualify to be a death penalty case. However, if the lab results come back that there was SA committed against Jocelyn, which they do believe will happen because she was found with her pants off and that kind of thing, then they will qualify for death penalty. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Patricia. Good to see you. Okay. In this case, the defendant lured a 12-year-old under a bridge where he and his co-defendant remained with her for over 2 hours, took her pants off, tied her up, and killed her, and then threw her body into the bayou. The DA wrote in court documents obtained by Fox News. These are the guys. Alexis was inside the criminal court for the hearing today, Jocelyn's mom. She says, I still see her face in the back of my head every day, all day. I keep getting little signs about her throughout the days. It's been a very, very hard time for me and my family, but the amount of support I've been getting from everybody is from the bottom of my heart, so appreciated. And here he was in court today. On Thursday, Fox News reported that the 2 suspects from Venezuela had entered the U.S. illegally before being released from custody. An Immigration and Customs Enforcement spokesperson confirmed on Friday on the news, saying in a statement that Martinez and Pena both illegally entered the U.S. without inspection, parole, or admission by a U.S. immigration officer on an unknown date and at an unknown location. Look at this beautiful girl. Oh my God, that's just so freaking sad. Investigators used surveillance video to track the movements of Rangel Martinez and Pena before and after the killing, Houston Police Lieutenant Stephen Hope said last week. Police said Martinez and Ramos, along with Jocelyn, were seen walking to a 7-Eleven convenience store. Afterward, the 3 of them walked to a bridge where investigators say Jocelyn was murdered. The 2 men then walked to the apartment they shared and left the girl's body behind. Police believe the pair lived in the same apartment complex as Jocelyn. Now, get this. They were trying to leave. I don't know if this will be in the article, or in the press conference, but they had talked to their boss. They wanted help, some money to get out of there. They work construction. Afterwards, the three of them walked to a bridge. Wait, I'm sorry. All right, let me get to this other article here. And then I'm going to pull up the press conference, which is going to give a lot more information. So just one second. Wore ice ankle monitor when crime occurred. So don't tell me they're going to put an ankle monitor on him when they let him go, which doesn't mean anything to somebody who doesn't care and is really trying to get away. Truly. Any chance they get, no matter, think about it. When you're going to prison for the rest of your life, most likely, let me just waiting on our video, another video to pop up so I can silence it. Okay. All right. A suspect in the murder of 12-year-old Jocelyn in Houston last week was wearing an Immigration and Customs Enforcement ankle bracelet at the time of the crime. Franklin Ramos, I know I'm saying that wrong, 26, but I don't really care as much about his name getting it correct because no respect for these guys, even though, I mean, okay, they are not convicted yet, but so Franklin appeared in court Monday at Harris County Criminal Court, where it was revealed that he was wearing the ankle monitor at the time he allegedly murdered Jocelyn. The ankle bracelet was provided to him when he was arrested by Border Patrol agents after entering the country illegally and being released from custody, with ICE telling Fox News in a statement Friday that he illegally entered the U.S. without inspection, parole, or admission by an immigration officer. Judge Josh Hill, who presided over Monday's proceedings, also noted that Ramos and 21-year-old Martinez, the other suspect, faced allegations that they were attempting to gather money to flee town. The judge set his bail at $10 million, more than double the $5 million requested by prosecutors. His defense, which the other article said $1 million, but this says his defense suggested a bail set at $1 million, but the judge argued he represented an astronomical flight risk and said the chances of the suspect returning to court would be near zero. If he was to make bail, the judge ordered that he must wear a GPS monitor, be on house arrest 24/7, remain in Harris County, and have no contact with the other suspect or anyone under the age of 18, and he also must not be in possession of firearms, drugs, alcohol, or a passport. He's not going to make a $10 million bail. Sorry. These two men are accused of luring Jocelyn under a bridge in Houston before tying her up and killing her. And again, I've already read that part to you, and you'll hear it in the press conference in just a second. So the other suspect is going to appear tomorrow for his first appearance. And investigators were able to use surveillance video to track the movements of the two before and after the killing. So let's go over to here, and we're going to talk while we listen to the press conference.
Nungaray and the arrest and charging of Johan Jose Martinez Rangel and Franklin Pena. Today, Franklin Pena was arraigned, his bond set at $10 million. The charge is capital murder of a child between 10 and 15 years old. At this time, the current charge does not carry death penalty eligibility. However, it is important for the public and the press to know that the investigation is ongoing, that forensics and lab work are required in this case. And unlike on television, they can't do it in an
Exactly,
hour.
Jen.
So we look forward to the results of the tests that are being run on
on
the evidence in the case. And should those tests produce evidence that would support a charge of sexual assault, or should other evidence be brought forward that supports a charge of kidnapping, both underlying offenses would make this capital murder and these individuals death penalty eligible.
Now, remember, and we talked about this with Ronald Anthony Burgos Avias, the Border Patrol agent who killed his own child and his mistress. He's just, disgusting. I don't even, just the thought of him just, excuse me, if they don't just decide, and she's going to talk about this a little more, but they don't just decide, okay, this is a death penalty case and you're definitely going to be up for death penalty. It's first you have to qualify, like she's talking about here, which if there was SA, then they would qualify. But then there's going to be a whole, panel of people. I forget the word they use for it, but they also talked about this in that case as well. And then they will decide, and they'll also talk to the family and kind of see what they want. And then if they decide, then that is when, they'll have that second part of their trial if they're convicted to see if they want to give them the death penalty.
Make no mistake, this is a horrific crime.
Oh, God,
And
Lil Red, yes,
when
it
we
was.
take charges, we do it based on the evidence we have at the moment. We look forward to working with our lab, continuing to work with our investigators, and it's obvious that Jocelyn had a loving family. The support that they've shown
This is so sad.
will
Just
continue
prepare, you guys.
because their
God
daughter,
almighty.
like all of our children, was one of our most vulnerable citizens. And we have to protect our most valuable resources, our kids. So our hearts go out to the Nungaray family. I want to bring up at this time Alexis Nungaray, Jocelyn's mother, for a few words to you. If there are questions about the case that we can answer, then our lead prosecutor, Megan Long, will be available to answer it. She is assisted by Elizabeth Lieberman, who is here, but in the back. These are the prosecutors who will be handling the case. They'll be back tomorrow for the arraignment of the second defendant, Johan Jose Martinez Rangel. Alexis?
Oh, I didn't see that her live. I'd love to.
First name is Megan, Megan. Last name is Long, Long.
And Elizabeth Lieberman. And she'll have to tell you where the I's and the E's go after this. All right. Alexis?
This is Jocelyn's mom, you guys.
I thank everybody for being here.
Now, let me just say, 27 years old, she's a baby to me. And I'm only 34, but I'm sorry. When I was 27, I was just still young and dumb and just young, it's, and you can also, clearly see, and I don't mean to judge her at all, in her grieving process, but I'm sure this was incredibly difficult to do. It seems like it was very difficult for her to do. Okay.
Make notice, a national notice for my daughter.
Amy. You rock, Pink
She
Lady.
was amazing. I still see her face in the back of my head every day, all day. Keep getting little signs about her throughout the
Grammy
days. And
Sorry.
this has been a very, very hard time for me and my family. But the amount of support I've been getting from everybody it's very, it's from the bottom of my heart, so appreciated. I hear her sayings just replaying over and over on in a loop in my brain. Her dorkiness, her quirkiness. She definitely made people laugh. She's I'm always gonna remember those memories because she had such a bright future ahead of her, and I knew she was gonna go
God.
very far. And these monsters took that opportunity from her, from our family, of watching her And I just want people to remember, I know this is very high profile case, but she was still my firstborn. I was a teen mom. I fought for her at 15. So 27 now, I'm still fighting for her. And just remember that she was a very special little girl that deserves her justice. And I know she's gonna make a difference in this world for all children. And now it's my job to make sure it continues to happen. So I just want to say thank you.
Anybody else? Okay.
Question for you.
Jesus, God.
The judge set a bond at $10 million. This was higher than what the district attorney's office asked for. Were you surprised by this, and what's your reaction to the judge's decision?
Well, my reaction is that I support bonds that are sufficient to hold high-risk defendants in custody while they're charged with violent crimes and awaiting trial.
That were already on
We
ankle
need
bracelets.
faster trials, and that's part of why we created a homicide division and asked the legislature to prioritize murders and capital murders, which they did. So
So I watched another video from the local news. Apparently the judge on this case is like known for cases taking forever to make it through his courtroom.
supportive of the bond that was set. We'll ask for the same bond for the co-defendant tomorrow. And as soon as our lab results are back, and if they support a death penalty eligible type of capital murder, then we'll
So
come.
he was where it's a bracelet given to him by immigration when they caught him crossing into the country illegally. They do a catch and release basically. So they do catch him and detain him, for a moment, but then they let them go, and then they had to come back for court and stuff like that. So he was wearing an ankle bracelet for that.
Back and ask for no bond.
Can you talk about the death penalty from 10 to 15 years
Michelle,
old?
I'd have to find that, but I can find it for you.
These cases, how
Hey, one eye open.
death penalty for some reason, this age restriction from 10 to 15 years old.
Our laws treat the age of victims differently, and they've changed where they draw the line. Used to be children under 6 if they were murdered. That created an underlying offense that would support death penalty in capital murder. That law was expanded to 10 years old and under, and then further expanded from 10 to 15 if the victim was 10 to 15 years old. Yet death penalty was taken off the table by the legislature, and instead they suggested that life without parole would be the appropriate charge. But age is not the only consideration in this case or any case. The underlying actions of the criminals. This victim was found, bound and without clothing from the waist down in the water. And we just think that there's a good possibility. We hope that there's evidence that remains to be tested.
She's trying to be respectful with her mother up there, which I don't blame her. I mean, look at the family. They're so broken. God, it just hurt. It literally hurts your heart to watch. But basically what she's saying, for just so that it's clear, is that, because she was found with her clothes off on the bottom and that kind of stuff, and she was bound, they do believe the likelihood of there being an SA, they believe there's a good chance there was. So they're very hopeful that there's evidence of it, because if so, then they can face the death penalty. But the thing is, she was found in the water. So I don't know, I don't know. I hope and pray if she had to endure that kind of torture before she was murdered, that there's evidence and they can find it. And I really am hopeful that they can. I feel like science has gotten to a point where even with her being in the water, that they will be able to find evidence of that. But I don't know.
The suspects knew Jocelyn, or they lived in the
You
same
can
area, maybe
seek
had
out.
crossed paths at any time?
No.
Do you know why, if that 10 to 15 age range, why, that particular age is more?
No, you would have to ask the legislators who passed that bill. I think they were expanding law and order, and they wanted the most vulnerable victims to be better protected, but for some reason took death penalty off the table. I don't know why.
Ms. Nungaray mentioned this is a high-profile case. Can you talk about what direction or advice you give your prosecutors as you're handling something this high-profile, or what your expectations are for that, this country?
So let me take just a minute to brag on the prosecutors that we've carved out to serve in the homicide division of the Harris County DA's office. It's a relatively new position. We've had it for the last 3 years. The idea was to reduce the trauma for victims by putting our most qualified prosecutors on capital murders and hopefully not having to reassign them as often, so that these family members didn't have to go through the trauma of working with new prosecutor after new prosecutor, as can happen here. So, it's a reflection of our intent to better serve crime victims. And the lawyers that are on it are a reflection of our desire to have the best of the best, trying the worst of the worst.
It was determined that a sexual assault happened, it would become death penalty eligible. Does that mean you would prosecute it as such?
It doesn't mean that. We make determinations about whether or not we're going to seek death very carefully. We have a committee. It is not a thumbs up or thumbs down decision by the elected DA like it used to be. I changed that. And the committee looks at the evidence, including evidence presented by the defense, especially if it has to do with mental illness or intellectual disability of any kind. We have to take punishment into consideration. They have to rely on us for the ultimate decision. I have to rely on the prosecutors for the ultimate decisions.
I'm trying to find the name of that judge, because I can't, in my watch history, it's not showing everything. YouTube annoys me with that because it's not on there. Even the press conference isn't on there. So it's like, dude, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm going to find it otherwise, though. So let's go over here for a moment, and then I want to take you to Facebook, and then we'll probably wrap it up. I do also have a video because, Rachel Moore, and like I said at the beginning, the suspect has finally been apprehended, and he was also an illegal immigrant. And regardless of how you feel politically, it's scary. It scares me. It truly does. So let's see. The illegal Venezuelan migrants accused of murdering a 12-year-old Houston girl lured her under a bridge where they stripped her naked to the waist and assaulted her for 2 hours. Disturbing new court documents allege. And remember, they know that because they have found them on camera that day. They found them with her that day, walking to the store. They see their every movement that they made. Franklin Ramos and Johan Martinez allegedly bound Jocelyn's hands behind her back during the brutal assault and then strangled her and dumped her body in a bayou. Her feet were also bound and her back was covered in cuts, according to KPRC. There she is. After the murder, Ramos allegedly asked his employer at a construction site for money so he could skip town after the murder, according to Fox 26 Houston. And there he is. He's got all kinds of tattoos. Not that that means anything, just something I noticed. There's her family during court today. Both men are charged with capital murder. He appeared Monday, the $10 million bond. So Ramos crossed the southern border illegally in El Paso, Texas on May 28th. The Post first reported last week he told agents he was going to live with his cousin in Houston and that he feared for his safety if he was sent back to Venezuela. He was fitted with an ankle monitor that was set to track his location for 21 days, which he cut off 2 days after Jocelyn's body was found. Homeland Security sources said. I hadn't seen that yet. Martinez entered the country and also in El Paso, Texas, on March 14th. He was given an ankle monitor but had it removed in May after it was determined he had no known criminal history. So here they are at the store that day. Remember, they walked to the store together. There's Jocelyn. That day she was wearing a Venom shirt. And you see one of them here in the pink shirt. Jesus, you guys. There she is. She was seen on the phone with her boyfriend. Look how little she is, too. I mean, tiny little girl. Both suspects were seen on surveillance footage entering a 7-Eleven with Jocelyn on the night of her murder and then walking down to the bridge where the little girl's body was later found. Jocelyn's family said she sneaked out of her home that night and at some point met up with the suspects. Her mom spoke alongside the DA Monday, talking today about her daughter's amazing opportunities in her future that her killers ripped from her. And there they are together. A GoFundMe for her family quickly surpassed its $35,000 goal, drawing in more than $65,000 in donations by today. Oh, apparently, I guess Trump has commented on the case and said these monsters should have never been in our country. It's just in the article, you guys, so I'm just reading along. Houston Mayor John Whitmire said the murder greatly affected him. As a grandfather and a father, it doesn't get any worse. He said, if there is any circumstance where you deny bail, this is it. Oh God, that's most likely probably her brother, because there's her mom that we watched today. Jesus. Their shirts say Forever 12. When police arrived, they attempted to flee, with one even attempting to jump off of a balcony, but they were quickly arrested. Investigators are still looking into whether she was SA'd, and they have not been charged with sex crimes. On June 13th, an Ecuadorian migrant, Christian Giovanni, 25, allegedly bound and gagged and then raped a 13-year-old girl in Queens Park. He also entered in Texas at Eagle Pass, and he was ordered to leave the country by an immigration judge the following year, but he was never deported. And then they talk about earlier this month, Victor Antonio Martinez Hernandez was arrested for the murder of Rachel Morin. And there's other ones too. There's another one that I've seen politicized quite a lot. What's her name? Lakeland. Have you guys seen that one? This is just horrific though. Well, I mean, it's going to happen. You know, there's good and bad and of all types of people, but so I don't know. I don't know. Really sad. Hey, Roxanne. Hey, Anna. Hey, Crystal. Kids are absolutely stupid. We all were. It's the nature of being a kid. I wish she had the chance to grow up and realize how stupid she was like we all did. That's what I was saying, Teacup. That's exactly what I meant when I said just now there are bad people of all kinds. You know what I mean? Of course, there are going to be a lot of people that with so many people coming into the country all the time in different ways, however it is they come, of course, bad people are going to come here. And guess what? With as many people as are already in this country, a lot of them are bad people too. So, you know, I have heard about that, Anna. Teacup was telling me about that earlier. I need to take a look at it. Oh, Angie, thank you for the super sticker. There's the cheerleader from Central Texas. The town is called Edna. I don't know, man. It's sad. It just gets you down. It's important to talk about. I think these things, why is this not all over? I don't care. Now I care about the fact that they are not, like, it's scary when there's no trace of these people in our databases, in our criminal justice system, stuff like that. If they are criminals, that kind of stuff is scary, and I do care. But at the end of the day, let me just say, it's not about that at all, though. It's about Jocelyn. It's about this stuff happening. It's about the fact that two grown men met up with a 12-year-old kid who snuck out of her house. They went, tied her up, and did God knows what to her for 2 hours before they murdered her and threw her in a bayou. That's horrific, and it should be talked about a lot more. It's a shame that we see some of the same shit getting talked about day after day after day, and then so many cases that don't get talked about at all. And this is the thing, the day after day after day stuff isn't even about any victims or a lot of times it's just about like drama surrounding people surrounding cases. It's not even about cases. It's just, I don't know. I just don't know. Crystal says, I hate the race thing. I'm white, but I realize most serial killers are white and school shooters, but I wouldn't say white people are sick killers. I don't like it either. It has nothing to do with race. For me, it's just about the fact that it happened. You know, now I will say it is kind of disappointing and depressing to know that one of these men was here with an ankle bracelet and this still happened. Hey, Astro from space. Oh, Amethyst Wolf. Thank you. Thank you. That is so freaking sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'm here in Houston. Wow, okay. Can happen with anybody. Absolutely it can. For me, though, I do wish people would just immigrate legally. I think that we should never stop letting people come here. That's the beauty of where we live. And so many of us, right, our roots are not even here. They come from all over, and that's just so freaking cool. And even though there is racism and problems and stuff here, I mean, we're doing really good compared to a lot of other countries. I don't think we should ever stop allowing that to happen. I wouldn't want to be in a place that did that. But we have to, find a way to do it, the best way to do it, I guess. I don't know. Ooh, Roxanne says, I live in Houston. Okay. But I know. And Angela, I don't know why I wanted to call you Angelica for a second. I'm reading your name all messed up. I'm sorry, Angela. But you're right. It's unbelievable. It has to be a sickness or something. Right? Because I don't know. Let's look at this though for a minute. I'm just, we're not going to talk about any other cases tonight. It just gives me I'm just so sad for Jocelyn, and I just want to just talk about her right now, and then we'll go and let you guys go. And I'm going to follow this all along the way. So I guess, what is this? Just a video? Let me see here.
full force. So
Okay.
be careful. Stay hydrated and
Is
stay
it
cool.
Be sizzling.
Yes.
Sizzling.
You know what else is in full force, Frank?
What's in full
The
force?
love for you, Frank Billingsley. All week long, we're giving Frank.
Here we go. New details. Men accused of killing Jocelyn were looking for money to leave Houston. A $10 million bond was set for Franklin Pena, 26, one of two suspects. You know, we have him and then Martinez. And here they are. We have Martinez on the left, Pena on the right. Here's what happened in court. Pena stood in front of a district court judge while handcuffed wearing a yellow jumpsuit. Prosecutors gave a rundown of the suspect's whereabouts the night of June 17th before Jocelyn's body was discovered in a North Houston creek. The girl's body was found at 6:49 a.m. Wait, prosecutors gave you the rundown of their whereabouts the night before her body was discovered. She was found at 6:49 a.m. Nude from the waist down, hands and feet bound, strangulation as her cause of death, and cuts on her backside. During Monday's news conference, prosecutors said both men were looking for money to get out of town. Pena called his boss, who works at a local construction company. There was an understanding that something went wrong, someone got hurt, and someone was killed. But as far as any more details on exactly what he said, no, said Megan Long, the lead prosecutor. Long said the boss notified police. That is one of the ways that the police were able to determine where they were and who the suspects were. Investigators said Jocelyn snuck out of her family's apartment sometime after 10 p.m. on June 16th. The two men visited a local bar for hours, and they eventually saw her at a 7-Eleven and asked her for directions. Oh, my God almighty. I didn't realize that part. Ask her for directions. Court records show they lured Jocelyn to a bridge. Pena told authorities he tried to tell Martinez to stop, but Martinez put his arm around Jocelyn's neck and covered her mouth. Martinez allegedly tied Jocelyn up and told Pena to put her body in the water to remove any DNA. She was found without her pants and had cuts on her body. Both men are from Venezuela. Border Patrol released both men on their own recognizance after they were arrested near El Paso earlier this year. Her grandfather is calling for leaders to change the immigration laws. This tragedy has caused a debate over immigration, and with an election upcoming, it's really sad because I have to wonder what a lot of these folks that are using this, you know, in their political campaigns on either side, would they be talking about it if it wasn't like an election happening? I don't even want to hear about the politics and what Trump and Biden have said about it. I'm not even going to read that part just because of that. Truly. That really annoys me because I don't believe that they would. The judge and attorneys also spoke about the death penalty in this case once lab results are confirmed. At this time, Harris County DA Kim Ogg said the current charges the suspect face do not make them eligible for death penalty, and then explains what I kind of told you guys earlier. She says she can't speak on the ankle monitor, and that's about that. So man, here they are. Wow. What's on your shorts, dude? And where's your shirt? Oh, thank you, Jen. Thank you for being here. They would turn a blind eye. Shh. No discussion if they don't gain. Exactly. Hey, Trailer Trash Barbie. Moose is joining from a new account. That's all right. I don't care. Wow, AB, how disgusting. Under that dark bridge for 2+ hours. My God, Astro from space. Thank you guys for being here and listening to this and hanging out with me. And yeah, just thank you. They are pure evil. I agree, Michelle. Good night, Angie. All right, let's flip over here for a second, and then I'm gonna let you guys go. I will be live tomorrow. I don't know exactly what. I have a couple things I want to talk about. Jen wants it. Well, we both want to get back to the calls. We're going to start on Jen's channel, and tomorrow night, I believe. But tomorrow day, I think that she's planning something with Sarah. I can't remember exactly what it is, but she has some kind of daytime live she's planning for tomorrow. And so you'll see me sometime try to weasel my way in somewhere, especially with the Karen Reed stuff happening. I'm going to be anxiously watching and waiting for news there. So we'll see just kind of what makes sense. Oh, thank you, Roro. They tied her hands to feet, gave her open. She bite one guy's neck. Huh, Astro, I hadn't seen that yet. And so you're in that area. I have a really close friend in Houston too. Bushi, so apparently strangulation, which I didn't take that in earlier when I was looking. But that's what I read this evening, so I do believe that's it. Let's go here for a moment. This gives us a little timeline from the local news. Here's what we've learned about Jocelyn's final hours. I would like to see that, and we'll end with that. Maybe I'll plan another live on this and we'll discuss it again, and some other things too, but okay. Thank you, B Crumbs. Here's the timeline, what we know so far. Says it's every parent's worst nightmare. Their child is missing and not answering their phone. That's what happened to the mother of 12-year-old Jocelyn on June 17th when she woke up to find her daughter had snuck out of their apartment. Can you imagine? Her mom didn't know yet that her body had already been found in North Houston Creek. 1 week later, the death of the little girl with an endearing smile has left people across Houston heartbroken and angry. Here's what we've learned about her last hours. So Alexis, that's Jocelyn's mom, put Jocelyn and her 5-year-old brother to bed at 10 p.m. on Sunday, June 14th. Police believe she left sometime after midnight. Her 13-year-old boyfriend later told police that Jocelyn called him late that night from a convenience store. He said he could hear her talking to 2 grown-ups. Oh, my gosh. Monday, she's seen with suspects. She's seen walking on Kukendall Road. That's right. Early Monday, when I listened to Grizzly talk about this. I forgot. Maybe that's where I heard the judge thing. If you guys are interested in more, she's done some mapping and stuff like that, I believe. I listened in the shower, so I wasn't watching, but I heard her talking about it. But the 3 of them then walked to a 7-Eleven before the men lured her to a bridge on West Rankin Road. Billie Jean Jackson had just dropped her husband off at work early Monday and was crossing the Rankin Road Bridge near Kukendall around 6 a.m. when something caught her eye. I saw what I thought was a mannequin. She turned back to take a closer look and realized it was a young lady's body, so she called 911. She said, "It broke my heart when I found out she was 12. I was devastated. I have a 12-year-old granddaughter, and it broke my heart." Her mom said she took a shower that morning and then went to wake up her children, but Jocelyn wasn't there. She said, "I pinged her phone and it pinged right over there, and I ran. That's where I saw tape and officers. I ran up to them and told them my daughter was missing, and they wouldn't tell me anything. About an hour later, she got a call from police that her body had been found in the creek." She said, "I don't know why. What possessed her to walk around late at night in this area of all places? I've always told her never leave the house, never leave unattended. There's people around here that are crazy." On Tuesday, surveillance photos were released, and they released these 2 men at a convenience store and described them as persons of interest. On Wednesday, there's new surveillance photos that has Jocelyn with these men. On Wednesday, her mom was on the news pleading for information about the suspects and anyone to come forward. Oh, God Almighty. And then they're arrested Thursday, June 20th, where a SWAT team and Houston police go to Canfield Lake Apartments at 4 a.m., use the loudspeaker to order them to come out. When they didn't, officers approached with weapons drawn. A witness says one of the guys tried to jump off of a balcony. Houston police removed boxes of evidence from their apartment, and there is video of them being arrested. Let's see. We'll just watch this. I'm going to let you.
Tonight, the family of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray is planning to hold a vigil in her honor tomorrow night at sunset.
That is after investigators announced today 2 men are in custody charged with capital murder
and 26-year-old Franklin Jose Peña Ramos. Both men now charged with capital murder in the death of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray.
Como las 4 a 5 de la mañana.
Claudia Escobar, who lives near them, says she heard the loudspeaker at around 4 this morning. She said the loudspeaker in Spanish asked those in the apartment to exit because they had an arrest warrant. This neighbor said officers started arming themselves and they went up to the second floor.
Wow, how scary, you guys.
One neighbor said one of the men from the apartment jumped out from the balcony, but cops had the place surrounded and they grabbed him. Witnesses shared images of the suspects being questioned outside as investigators pulled out bags of evidence from the apartment. Today, police said the suspects ate at a restaurant on North.
Oh my God, I haven't even seen that press conference. I didn't know. Okay, apparently I have a lot of more digging to do. I want to drop this link for you guys in case you want to watch the rest of this video and any of the other stuff on here. We're going to come back and talk about this again soon. This is important to me and I'm invested. So I hope that you guys will join me. Astro from Space says they did everything Stefan did to Maddie in 2 hours plus. Attack, think about that. All right. And the last thing before we go, I think that we should end with this. Just watching for a moment. I shared the link. Hopefully, if you click on the second part, it will work. Thank you, B Crumbs. And I want to end with this. This is her mom, and we've heard from mom already a little bit tonight, but we can hear just a little bit more. It's only 1 minute and 54 seconds, so.
This afternoon, we are hearing from the family of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungaray. She was found dead in a bayou earlier this week.
Yeah, this comes as police continue searching for the people responsible. Victor Jacobo joins us live from near where Jocelyn's body was found. And Victor, I understand you spoke with Jocelyn's mother this afternoon. How is she doing?
Yeah, that's right, Alexis.
Hey, Amber. Hey, Roro. Thank you so much. Not hey, Roro. We've been sitting here talking all the time. I'm getting all mixed up. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. That's very sweet. I definitely will, Bushi. I plan on following up for sure. And Amber, have you seen this case? You should look at this. B Crumbs. Don't laugh at me. I'm an awkward mess. You know that. But you should look at this, Amber. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And yeah, I'm happy to see you. Okay.
Nungaray, the mother of Jocelyn, says she is devastated, but she is praying for justice. However, at this time, right now, what exactly happened to Jocelyn remains a mystery both to her mother and to police. What we do know from police is this: investigators are looking for these persons of interest. Police suspect foul play, as they say Jocelyn died of strangulation. Her body was found in a bayou near the 400 block of Rankin Road early Monday. Jocelyn's mother speaking with us this afternoon, saying she looked for Jocelyn Monday morning and couldn't find her, only to have Jocelyn's phone located in the area where her body was found. She says she has no idea who Jocelyn could have been interacting with, but that her heart is broken.
I'm like angry that they took advantage of her. She's so young. She's 12. You took my baby away. Now I get to let her brother know her sister is never coming home.
Oh my God. Now I get to let her brother know his sister's never coming home. Oh, Jesus. Yes, what B. Crumb said. Amber, here, I'm going to drop this link. If you click on the bottom one, it's an article. It gives a lot of info. But this, well, actually, no. It has a lot of this stuff, but there's also other press conferences. The one guy had court today. They set his bond at a $10 million bond. He was on an ankle. One of them had an ankle bracelet that they were given when they were released for, immigration stuff. So I don't know. It's just so freaking sad, you guys. It breaks my heart, but I'm going to let you guys know it is really heavy, Pinche. Whew. Yeah, it's a lot. So if you guys, have been here listening to this, maybe go and listen to something a little lighthearted for a little bit. I'm probably going to do that. Go watch some makeup stuff or some kind of drama or something to not be so, I don't know. It's sad, but we are going to keep talking about it, as uncomfortable as it is for us. God Almighty, what that baby went through. And her mom, man, she's right. She's so young. At 12, adults can really manipulate you at that age. And it's really sad. But anyways, thank you for being here with me tonight to talk about this. I appreciate you guys so much. I really do. And thank you to the mods. And yeah, I hope to see you guys tomorrow. We have Karen Reed. We're going to see what happens. Is it Michael Vaughn's birthday? Bushi, I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing. Happy birthday, Michael Vaughn. Little boy missing from Idaho. Amethyst, so no, I guess they all went to sleep. So mom, apparently she puts them to bed at 10 and they all went to bed. And when she went to wake her up the next morning, she realized she had snuck out while everyone was asleep. And yeah, so, all right. Again, thank you guys, to the chat, to the mods, everyone. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a good night and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.